Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Welcome to the workshop meeting of the Tomball ISD Board of Trustees for August 10th, 2026. We're opening at 5:32 p.m. For the record, a quorum of the board is present. All trustees are in attendance tonight. The meeting is being recorded in accordance with Government Code Section 551128. The main purpose of tonight's meeting is to receive reports from administration and review the business agenda for the regular meeting, which is tomorrow night. Any action regarding items on the business agenda will be taken at the regular meeting. Just a note, this is a meeting of the Board of Trustees. It is open to the public. However, it is not a meeting of the public. Public participation is limited to designated times during the meeting for citizen comment. For those that have registered to speak in accordance with board procedures, we ask for your cooperation in ensuring that the meeting runs in an orderly manner. We have no speakers tonight.
That is correct.
So I will now turn the floor over to Dr. Salazar Zamora.
Thank you so much, President Lewandowski, members of the board, all of you in the audience tonight. It is with a lot of excitement that we begin our recognitions tonight with Meet the Staff. Before that, if you notice, there's a lot of rock and roll theme going on here in Tomball ISD. I just want for anybody watching this in the Tomball community and those of you here in the audience to understand we had our exciting Rock This New School Year convocation today. This is not our normal attire. Just wanted to make sure you knew that if you hadn't figured that out. We are going to start Meet the Staff, recognizing some of our very own that have been promoted and some that are brand new to the district. So we have 6 individuals that we're very happy to be able to introduce you in their new positions. I'll start with Jen Bestian, who's been promoted from Assistant Director to Director of Human Talent. Be careful coming up here, Jen. Okay, let's tap on it just a little. Let's wait just a second.
Can you all hear that? Can you hear me? Okay, perfect. Dr. Z, President Lewandowski.
Oh, hold on. It sounded like it. Just say a few things.
Hello. Okay,
there you go, Jen.
Perfect.
Okay.
Alrighty. Dr. Z, President Lewandowski, and members of the board. My name is Jennifer Bestian, and I am deeply honored to step into the role of Director of Human Talent Onboarding. Having served in various roles in the Human Talent Department for the past 5 years, I am immensely grateful for the opportunity to continue supporting Tomball ISD in this new capacity. On a personal note, my husband and I are also celebrating an exciting milestone as we prepare to welcome our first child, a baby boy, in October. I look forward to collaborating with all of you, supporting our team members, and serving this community. Thank you.
Thank you, and congratulations. Also celebrating another promotion in our district is Diana Christensen being promoted from Assistant Director to Director in Operations. Diana.
Good evening. Good evening, President Lewandowski, Dr. Salazar Zamora, Board Trustees, our Cabinet, and amazing Tomball family and guests. My name is Diana Christensen, and I'm honored to serve as your Director of District Support. I'm beginning my 19th year in education and my 5th year here in Tomball. I have served as a campus administrator for 7 years in my past life and began in Tomball as an assistant director in our Human Talent Department, contributing and strengthening the district hires, supports, and retention of staff. I later transitioned to the Assistant Director of Custodial Services, where I had the opportunity to support district facilities and operational needs. Over the past year and a half, the custodial team and I have led efforts that contributed to approximately 99.98% of reduction in overtime, while maintaining 95.2% operational excellence, and that's with feedback from the amazing people on this side and that side of the room, our district and campus administrators. More recently, through the collaboration with our amazing transportation leadership, Danielle and Matthew Schwer, we have reduced transportation overtime by approximately 36.33% from March through June of this year. These results represent more than numbers. They represent accountability, collaboration, and intentional leadership, and a commitment to that continuous improvement. My diverse experiences across the district have given me a unique perspective on how our departments, campuses, and people can work together to create greater efficiency and stronger outcomes. I bring a results-driven approach focused on identifying opportunities, building collaboration, and turning challenges into solutions. I also look forward to this year's collaboration with our Office of School Leadership to strengthen attendance efforts with a primary focus on truancy case development, compliance, documentation, and court filings as needed. And that is our last resort, court filings. This partnership will help strengthen consistency and accountability while ensuring we are providing the appropriate support and interventions for our students and our families. As Director of District Support, my goal is to continue connecting people and processes across the district, removing those barriers, strengthening our operations, creating systems that allow our campuses and staff to focus on what's most important, and that's our student success. And on a personal note, I am a proud parent of a student at Tomball Star, Rebecca. She'll be a junior this year. And I'm so incredibly thankful for the opportunities that have been granted to Rebecca. She's had so many service hours opportunities. So when Dr. Z, you share that, part of those hours were Rebecca's. So I'm excited about that. This perspective makes my work even more meaningful because I am a parent and I am a very proud district employee of Tomball ISD. I am grateful to the opportunity to serve here in Tomball and look forward to continuing to make measurable and meaningful differences for our students, staff, and community. Thank you.
Thank you. It's always exciting to be able to promote individuals from within, but we're always excited to bring people into Tomball ISD. This next member has been a community member. As a matter of fact, her son is probably seated over here somewhere, a member of the incredible baseball team. The new principal of Grand Oaks Elementary School, Heather Myers. Come on up.
Good evening, President Lewandowski, Dr. Zamora, Board, Cabinet, and guests. I am honored to stand before you as the next principal of Grand Oaks Elementary. With me tonight, I do have my husband, Phil, my bonus daughter, Aubrey, my daughter, Presley, my son, Easton, and yes, my other son, Hunter, in the blonde crew over to the side. We moved to Tomball in 2021 from a tiny district, tiny comparatively, down the road. And we were a little nervous because we came from a place where everybody knew every single one of my kids to a place where, to us, was huge. Hunter opened up Grand Lakes as a 7th grader. Presley was in 4th grade and Easton in 1st grade at Grand Oaks. And we quickly realized that we made the right choice once we met their teachers, the counselors, the administrators at each of those campuses. But it was Nisa Glenwinkle who won me over with her speech in September, late September, early October, when Grand Oaks was booming and they had to add another 1st grade class. And so a room full of parents hearing that their 1st graders were getting a brand new teacher at the end of the first 9 weeks, we were all nervous, and she assured us that it did not matter what teacher you got in Tomball ISD, your kiddo was going to get a great education, and she was right. And now we fast forward to Easton's going into 6th grade as a GE ambassador at West Intermediate. Presley was honored last month at the board. She was on the inaugural Grand Lakes Destination Imagination team. And then again, there's Hunter and the baseball team for getting recognized tonight. And so I am in awe and completely humbled to be able to pour into this district that has done so much for my family these past 5 years. And today, getting to be with the staff was just a full circle moment. I told them, I said, I feel like I've known you since 2021. You may be meeting me for the first time today, but we go way back. And so I thank you for your unwavering support, and go Tigers.
Well, welcome, Heather. We are glad to have you. Now, someone that is not new to Tomball, as a matter of fact, she grew up here and graduated from Tomball, our new principal of Creekside Forest Elementary School, Caitlin Wischkowski. All right, Caitlin. Promoted from within the campus, from assistant principal to principal. and we're so proud of her.
Good evening, President Lewandowski, Dr. Zamora, members of the board, cabinet, and guests. I'm honored to introduce myself as the new principal of Creekside Forest Elementary. As a proud Tomball High School graduate, this community is woven into who I am. Tomball shaped me, supported me, and helped me become the person and educator I am today. I'm joined tonight by my parents, Donald and Diane Wishkowski. My dad is also a Tomball High School graduate, and my mom served in many roles across Tomball ISD and retired after 32 years of dedicated service a year ago. Since joining Tomball ISD as an educator, I have served as a math specialist at Wildwood Elementary, an assistant principal at Grand Oaks Elementary and Creekside Forest Elementary, and I now have the privilege of continuing my journey at Creekside Forest as principal. Leading Creekside Forest means I get to build on the trust I have established, honor the traditions that make our campus unique, and continue moving us forward together. The chance to serve at a school I love with people I care deeply about is an honor and a privilege. Thank you very much for this opportunity.
Also not new to our district, she's been at other campuses, and we're so excited now to have her as the principal of North Point Intermediate, Jennifer Foley. Come on up, Jen.
Good evening, President Lewandowski, Dr. Z, members of the board, cabinet, and guests. I am excited and honored to serve as the new principal at North Point Intermediate. This marks my 11th year in Tomball and 19th in education. Over the years, I've had the wonderful opportunity to serve in both teaching and leadership capacities across a variety of campuses in Tomball ISD. No matter which campus I was at, there was always amazing things happening, and educators were constantly pouring into our students. It was that exact same dedication and care that has been poured into my own children in Tomball ISD. I have one daughter that just graduated in the class of 2026 at Tomball High School, who is heading off to college this Thursday, fully prepared because of all the greatness that all the educators have done. And I have one who will be starting 7th grade at Tomball Junior High. As I begin this new chapter, I look forward to pouring into our students and staff at NIS, just as so many have poured into my own family. I am truly excited to build upon North Point's great traditions and strengthen the incredible culture that already exists. Thank you again for this incredible opportunity. I am proud to join the North Point family.
Okay, and wrapping up our promotions, we are so proud, again, a member of the Tomball family stepping into the principalship, so proud, Charles Hall with Connections Academy. Come on up. He is recovering from surgery, and I hope that brace is on underneath
It's
that
on.
suit. Okay.
It is on. If anybody from Health and Benefits is here, yes, it is on. Good evening, President Lewandowski, Dr. Zamora, members of the board, cabinet, and guests. First, I want to say thank you for this opportunity and for allowing me to serve as the new principal of Tomball Connections Academy. I am truly honored and excited for this next chapter. I am blessed to have some very important people here with me this evening. My wife, Stacy Hall, my two children, Cade, who's turning 17 today, so he's joining us on his birthday, and Kaylin. Both of them are students now at Tomball High School as a freshman and junior. Kaylin's part of the track team and going to be taking part in cross country. Cade's in the orchestra and on the football team. With me tonight is also my parents, Fred and Cindy Hall, here in the back, and surprise guest, my nephew, Andrew. Thank you all for your consistent support and encouragement through the years. A side note, my wife and I are both starting our 24th year in public education. So, my journey to Tomball ISD has been an unexpected and incredible one. I originally came to Tomball after serving as an administrator in another school district, but I had the opportunity to return to the classroom as a developmental teacher when I came to Tomball ISD, and also help open the Life 18 program. At that point, I never truly imagined I would return to administration. The classroom really is a fun place to be. However, the leadership of people like Mr. Chris Scott, Dr. Kelly Marciando, and many others in this room reinvigorated to me and showed me an incredible culture that exists throughout Tomball ISD, reminded me why this district is a special place. The commitment to students, staff, and community is something I wanted to be a part of again. At Tomball Connections Academy, our mission is simple. We want to connect the students to their community, invest in their future, and encourage students to become the best versions of themselves. So thank you for this opportunity. I'm excited for what the future holds for Tomball Connections Academy and for Tomball ISD.
Thank you so much. If we could have the 6 of you come up, we would love for the board and administration to get the opportunity to shake your hand and then get a new staff photo, okay? So if you could all come up, we will shake your hands. Sorry, Charles, I have you moving more than... Okay.
Little school.
Oh, you can get on the step back, okay? There you go. It's much easier this way. Thank you so much. Good job, good job.
Congratulations.
Hello, hello. Good job. Very proud of you. Good job. Hello. You feeling okay? All righty. Let's get a photo.
Thank you so much.
Thank you again and welcome. We're very, very proud of each and every one of you. Now we'd like to recognize the state and national Spanish Spelling Bee participants. Dr. Paloma Moreno, our Director of Multilingual Programs, will lead us in the recognition.
All right. Can you hear me? No.
No, did you tap it?
Can you hear me?
Nope, just do this. Huh, it was working a minute ago.
Can you hear me? Oh, now you can really hear me.
All right. Good evening, President Lewandowski, Dr. Salazar Zamora, members of the board and cabinet. I am thrilled tonight to recognize 2 of our exceptional students who proudly represented Tomball ISD at both the state and national Spanish Spelling Bee. First, unable to appear tonight, please help me recognize rising 8th grader Claudia Garcia de Albizu Ibanez from Creekside Park. Claudia placed 3rd in the secondary division at the Region 4 competition, earning her a spot at the state Spanish Spelling Bee, where she finished an impressive 13th in Texas. The competition was so fierce that around the 5th hour, the judges had to resort to a mystery list after the students completely mastered every single word on the study list. So thank you, Claudia, for representing the excellence of Tomball ISD. Next, with us here today, please help me celebrate the 3rd best speller in the entire state of Texas for a Spanish Spelling Bee, our rising 6th grader, Ainhoa Zuloaga, also from Creekside Park. Ainhoa placed 3rd at Region 4, moved on to take 3rd place at the Texas Spanish Spelling Bee in El Paso, which earned her the honor of representing both Texas and Tomball ISD at the National Spanish Spelling Bee in Albuquerque, New Mexico in July. Ainhoa battled through even more mystery word lists, silent letters, and sneaky accent marks, showing off her incredible tenacity alongside her spelling skills. We are so proud of you, Ainhoa. Fun fact, I'm going to try to pronounce these correctly. A couple of the words that secured her big wins were lumpen proletariado, and this one's hard because there's like a weird trill, otorrinolaryngologia.
Oh my goodness.
And that was a mystery word, so she had never studied it and got it right.
Wow, congratulations.
I'd also like to take this opportunity to recognize the parents of these amazing students. So thank you for your endless study sessions, your change of summer travel plans, and your unwavering support. We truly could not do this without your partnership. So please join me once more in giving a warm round of applause to our state and national Spanish spelling bee competitors.
And now go over there. And we love your sock style. Really cute.
Those are her lucky spelling socks.
Hey, you know, whatever
So
it
she
takes.
wore them through, she had a crazy pair for every competition. So it was a fun
I love it.
tradition. Yeah.
Congratulations, Mia. Love you. And next, what do you say about a team that has so much fun playing together? It's just incredible to watch you game after game, year after year. We're so proud to recognize the Tomball High School Baseball State Championship winners. Chris Scott, our athletic director, will lead us in this special presentation.
President Lewandowski, Dr. Z, and members of the board and cabinet, truly an honor to be able to recognize this team tonight. Tonight we're going to celebrate a remarkable group of student athletes whose hard work, resilience, and unity carried them to both a state championship and a national championship. Their success reflects not only their commitment, but also the unwavering support of their families and the pride of a community that shows up for them in every way. And when you're rated number one and you're expected to win, it's hard to win. But when you're rated number one and you're expected to win and you do win, that's a big accomplishment. At the center of this achievement is a leader who sets the tone, builds the culture, and is quick to give recognition to others. This year, he was honored as the 2026 National High School Baseball Coaches Association Coach of the Year, a national recognition of excellence he brings to our district every season. It's my honor to introduce our Tomball High School head baseball coach, Doug Rush, who will share with the board the story of this extraordinary season and the accomplishments that defined it. Coach?
Okay, well, thank you. I want to tell y'all a really quick story first. In 1974, I was second in my elementary school spelling bee and 16th in the county. I went out on the word plenteous. And so after that, they told me I better stick to athletics. So, but anyway, try to spell plenteous. I want to read this. I don't do Instagram. I'm not that, I'm too old for that, but our team manager got this after we won the playoff series against Rowlett. It was a school that hardly ever goes to playoffs, and they had a pretty good group of kids, and we beat them in the third round. So after that, he got a Instagram message, and it just said this: I was on staff with Rowlett for the last 4 years. I'm at another school this year, but went to both of the games in Georgetown this week. I was so impressed with your entire program, not just the talent, that is obvious, but the way every one of your players, coaches, and parents carried themselves. You guys are elite. You could have very easily have a big-timer attitude towards your competition, but you guys played with a humility and confidence that was really enjoyable to watch, even in defeat. It speaks volumes to the development of the players in your program. Good luck going forward. Go win the whole thing. So I was after the third round. So anyway, before I begin the rest of it and kind of introduce everything we did, I want to take time to thank you, Dr. Z, and Mr. Lewandowski, board, and all the cabinet members. I also want to thank my wife. Have her stand up. Sarah, where are you? Stand up. Okay. 3 really awesome assistant coaches are here. Coach Heckathorn isn't here, but Coach Tidwell is. Stand up. Okay. Coach Gillen, stand up. And Coach Coover, please stand up. Coach Tidwell played on a state championship team at Belton High School for his dad, and then has won 2 state championships with us. Coach Gillen played on our first state championship team in 2013. He played on that team, and now he's won one as a coach also, so that's pretty cool. Coach Cooper played in a state championship game when he was in high school, so all 3 of them have been really successful in playing and coaching. All right, so let me get to this team here. So we were 43-1-1. State champs, also national champs in 2 polls, the National High School Coaches Association poll and the Baseball America poll. This team had a 38-game win streak at one point, and finally got beat in game 1 of the state semifinals before we beat Flower Mound Marcus in games 2 and 3, and then obviously probably we're all there. We won the state championship game against Houston Memorial, which was a really big accomplishment for us. But a lot of these guys have played, for 3 years, and our 3-year total is 118 wins and 11 losses, with 2 state championships and then an unfortunate state runner-up last year. In 2024, we were number 2 in the nation behind a private school, so I decided we were national champs then too. So anyway, we're proud to bring our 3rd state championship to Tomball. It's a great community, great school district, and we're happy to have had so much success in it. A bunch of great kids here. Y'all go ahead and stand up, guys, and come to the front. We'll introduce the state championship team. Tomball, 2026 Tomball Cougars, state and national champs. I guess they should have been up there the whole time, my fault. Since I didn't come up there the whole time, y'all want to just kind of look at them for a minute, and then yeah. Some of them are still blonde. All right, now you can start shaking hands, guys. Great job.
Congratulations again to all of you being recognized tonight, and again to the state champs. Very proud of all of you. This completes the recognitions for this evening, so if you would like to leave, this is a perfect time. That's what most people do. You are welcome to stay, but this might be the time if you'd like a quick exit. Moving on with the reports we have for this evening, there are 3 reports. The first one is a Tomball ISD Student Code of Conduct, Student Handbook, and Digital Resources Acceptable Use and Internet Safety Policy. Karen Graves, our Director of Administrative Services, will lead us with this report. Karen.
Sorry. Okay, good evening, President Lewandowski, Dr. Salazar Zamora, members of the board and cabinet. It's kind of a hard act to follow, but I'll try to make the handbook and code of conduct as exciting as baseball. So I'm waiting. I don't see it up there. I don't know if you can see it. There it is. Okay. So this year is a non-legislative year, so you are not going to see any changes in the student code of conduct. But I'm just putting it out there so you know that it looks the same as last year. And that's by design. The code of conduct is mostly reflecting the law and any legal changes, which of course in Texas happens most of the time every other year. Digital Resources Acceptable Use and Internet Safety Policy was completely redesigned last year, and it was so good that they left it the same for 26-27. And you can also see a copy of that in your backup. Okay, on to the student handbook. Not as many changes this year, again, for the same reasons. It's a non-legislative year, but we did have some changes recommended by TASB and also some legislative decisions that came out later after the handbook came out last year, as well as some district recommended changes. Other than minor verbiage and formatting, we did update some of our representatives, homeless liaison, foster liaison, and some of those types of roles. There was some information added about the multi-tiered system of supports. School staff misconduct was added as a type of abuse that needs to be reported to the Department of Family and Protective Services. Sorry. Okay, also, there was some information added regarding online options for submitting a grievance. This went into law last year. However, we did put it in the handbook with a link this year. That wasn't ready last year when the handbooks came out. Also, there was some clarification about credit by exams and sort of just making sure that people knew that if you take credit by exam, in other words, you're not taking the actual class, you're testing out of it, you still have to take the end of course exam if it's a class that requires that. And also information about how it will affect your GPA at the high school level. There was an adjustment to the dress code at the high school level. We updated some discrimination statements in accordance with policy, and meta glasses were added as a prohibited recording device because there were some issues with that. Apparently that was a district requested addition. Okay, also there was some clarification about UIL. If you take an honors course in UIL, you can get a lower score than passing, which is normally 70. You can get a 60 at the high school level and still be eligible for athletics and extracurriculars. And at the junior high level, the only 2 courses that qualify are Algebra 1 and Geometry. So we clarified that. We did add a section about motorized scooters and electronic bicycles. So basically, the main things are that students can use them if they are legal. They have to be street legal, and they have to be age appropriate, and they are also required within 300 feet of school to walk them. Okay. There was information about private spaces. Those are basically areas where a student might be in a state of undress, and that we have to designate those for one sex, either male or female. That went into law last year. Okay, some things about course level changes. We just updated that. We updated a lot of information about library materials, just to come up with current law and also our current practice, and to show parents what their options are, because they really do have a lot of control over what their students are able to check out, what their students see in the libraries, and lots of available means to protest materials if they're not happy with them. Okay, we also added just some clarification for students that if for some reason an administrator determines that there is reasonable cause to search you, you cannot run away and not expect a consequence. So we just made that very clear. If you run away and refuse a search, you are still probably going to get a consequence. And some extra information about transcripts. Also, referees or judges or an official at an extracurricular athletic event can eject a person without a warning first. The rest of us have to give a warning, but those officials don't have to warn anybody. If it's something that's offensive, they can kick them out. And then also at the back of the handbook, we have to keep policy F and G, and it was updated this year, so that was changed in the handbook as well. Any questions? Not as many changes this year.
Dr. Pratt, I remember you requesting that the grievance policy part were clear to where parents could understand it. Are you satisfied with the changes that were made? I noticed it was shortened from, it was about 6 pages and now it's down to 5, so maybe simpler, I'm not sure. Are you satisfied with the changes?
You know, in reviewing it, I think anytime that we can provide clarity as to the steps, which is what I've been most particular about, you know, level 1, you know, who the audience is, the number of days required, and then if it needs to go to level 2, the number of days required, moving to level 3. I think it's much more, it's clear. Still would love to see a flow chart. I think we have that now.
We do, yes.
So from my vantage point, those are the things, because the administration is accustomed to grievances. Those that have filed a grievance for the first time, they feel like it's bureaucratic. They feel like it's cumbersome. And there's reasons why the grievance process is the way it is, but I think it's clearer and crisper. And I would just continue to advocate that where we can provide more clarity, crisp it up, good, you know, flow chart. You know, I always support that. So yeah, I'm in a better spot. Long-winded answer to your question.
A lot of links embedded, right? So when parents are directed to the handbook or the code of conduct, those links will be easy to find. Is the flow chart one of those links?
Yeah, I believe the flow chart, and I'll double check this, but that grievance webpage is actually pretty good, and our lead counsel was great in finding some examples of other districts that looked really nice, and we sort of designed ours around that. There's a lot of information on that page, and I think, is the flow chart on that page? Yes, I thought so. Yeah. So if you get a chance to look at that, I think you'll be pleased with some of the clarity that you'll see there.
There's another part too where ombudsman is too strong a word, but if there are questions that a parent has, they can call you.
Yes.
And you are a ready resource. You're Switzerland, you're neutral.
I try to be, yes.
And you just work on educating them on the process.
Yes.
And at times coach them so that they're headed in the right direction. And so I don't think that's widely publicized. Not that we want to put your phone number and, associate you with every grievance, but I think that's an extra step that, I don't know that a lot of school districts do that, so.
Yeah. I think that's actually on that webpage as well, that has contact information, and we actually have now a dedicated email address, and where those things go through submission directly to my email as well as lead counsel, and so it's a great avenue for parents to communicate with us. Okay.
Hey, e-bikes. How's that going? What was the reception? I know Constable Mark Herman sent a letter to 6 different school districts, to include Tomball ISD,
Correct.
asking for school districts to take some additional measures. Can you just kind of
Yes.
put you on the spot a little bit?
So, no, that's
Can
fine.
you talk a little, what was the reception? How's it going? What are we actually going to do to support what he's asking?
So there has been a lot of concern throughout the community, in some communities more than others, depending on how close the school might be in proximity, about the safety of them, the question of whether or not the district should not allow them. And the concern there is, of course, parents purchase these and may want their child to use that, or children to use it as a mode of transportation to get to and from school. There were continued concerns, and unfortunately in a neighboring district there was a child that did lose her life last year, and it was connected to one of these. I received a call in the summer, had a long conversation with law enforcement about what that would look like, and the agreement prior to sending it out was, if it is considered an illegal bike, then it would be something that I could certainly support that. If it was illegal, we certainly don't want that. So if it is a legal bike, then they can have a permit, and we move forward. Of course, still want for them to have a helmet and use all of the advisory comments that are made. We want to work together with the community. We don't want to take any parent rights away, but we are going to follow the letter of the law. And we are communicating that and have been.
As this progresses, I would like to know how much administrator time is on it. I'm sure the first week of school, it's just going to be like anything, a mixed bag. But as the year progresses, love to I just worry about it just consuming the administrator's time, trying to police that. And that's not what our focus should be.
Right.
So please help us with
Right.
what that looks
We'll
like.
circle back around and see how that rolls out. Looking forward to that.
And does this include e-scooters too, or just the e-bikes?
I think it says scooters on there as well. Scooters and e-bikes,
I'm not
yeah.
as
Yeah.
Okay. There's
knowledgeable of the different terms, but yes.
To me, it's all things
Yeah.
E, right? The vehicles that.
E something illegal,
Yeah.
not.
Motorized, I think, is the key word there. Yeah,
My
motorized.
last thing, the library book changes, they're really not changes. At the end of the day, the parent continues to have the final say on what library books their child can access. And we can enable that, disable that electronically, and that the librarian is honoring that at the campus with that child. So we're not changing anything by virtue of what we're talking about here today.
Correct.
Okay.
No, just
Parent has the final choice.
clarifying, I think.
Yeah. Okay, just
Yeah.
want to be over communicate,
Yes.
right? So that
Yes,
folks are not
absolutely. Yep.
concerned that, a library book change and that parents' rights are being taken away.
No, not at all.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you
All
so
right,
much, Karen.
thank you.
Appreciate you. Next for reports, we have academic achievement. Very proud to have Dr. Michael Webb give us an update. Michael, of course, is our Chief Academic Officer, and I think he will be very pleased.
All right, President Lewandowski, Dr. Zamora, members of the board and cabinet, I am very pleased this evening to present the 25-26 Academic Achievement Report. It's full screen on my side. There we go. All right, so the headline for this report is Tomball ISD surpassed Tomball ISD where we were in our previous year, and we continue to well outpace the state of Texas. Our performance is very strong this past year, and we are very comfortable in saying that we will continue to have a projected A rating The results, our accountability results, will come out no sooner than tomorrow evening and probably no later than Wednesday afternoon, and may have a little bit more to share perhaps once those accountability ratings come out. So over the past decade, accountability has started and stopped and paused since 2020. So this is our first year to have 2 consecutive years look at accountability. So it's our first year to have a solid look back at to where we were in 2019. 2019, Tomball was an A-rated school district. 60% of our schools were A-rated prior to the pandemic. We are projecting next year, and I'm comfortable in this projection, that for this year, tomorrow when the ratings come out, 83% of our schools will be A-rated. And that does not include a couple of our schools that are hinging on an 89. So what I'll share with you this evening is our composite scores. Composite scores are an aggregation of approaches, meets, and masters on the STAR assessment. Approaches is minimum passing requirements, meets is strong performance, and masters is superior performance on the STAR. You have the percentages for each of these proficiency levels, a total or a sum, and then we divide by 3 to give us what is called the composite score. And then tomorrow, or as late as Wednesday, that composite score will be converted to a scaled score, and then that scaled score is then converted to an A through F on our accountability system. All accountability projections that I'll share this evening, again, are based on the composite score. I'd like to start with the composite score of Algebra 1. Algebra 1, we continue to have very strong performance. We are number 1 among all regional districts and number 1 among all competitive districts in this area. We maintained a projected A rating, and it's an A rating at a 95 scale score, which is extremely high for Algebra 1. An important note to remember for just a few slides down the road, 49% of our kids that take Algebra 1 are 13 and 14 years old. They are taking it either in 7th or 8th grade. Less than half of our kids take the Algebra 1 EOC as freshmen. That's very important to know in just a few slides. Willowwood Junior High, Tomball Junior High, Creekside Park, Grand Lakes continue to have almost every single one of their students are at the passing level. 99 to 100% are meeting approaches in Algebra 1. Continue with math, grades 3 through 8. I'm going to pull out grade 7. I'm going to come back and talk about grade 7 in just a moment. We continue to improve on our composite score. That means we will maintain our A designation without exception, grades 3, grades 4, 5, 6, and grade 8. And again, very strong performance in this area of math, which is leading to that strong performance in Algebra 1. Senate Bill 2124, just a few years ago, set forth an accelerated path for students to reach Algebra 1 by 8th grade. Now, in Tomball ISD, we were doing this before Senate Bill 2124 came out and was implemented. But what it does is it puts a regulation, or puts our practice into a regulation. So at grade 5, the top 40% of students in the 5th grade STAR automatically enroll into 6th grade TAP, so into advanced classes at the 6th grade level. Of course, a parent can opt out if they choose, but very few do so. So about half of our kids in Tomball are in the 6th grade moving into accelerated 6th grade math TAP. In 6th grade math TAP, students take all of the 6th grade standards. They have exposure to all the standards in 6th grade and half of the standards in 7th grade. They then take the 6th grade STAR. The next year, these students move in our accelerated path to grade 7, in which they take half of the 7th grade. They have exposure to half of the 7th grade TEKS, and then all of the 8th grade TEKS. And in 7th grade, our advanced students take the 8th grade STAR. Then that positions our advanced students to access all of the Algebra 1 TEKS in the 8th grade. And then they would take the Algebra 1 STAR. Also in Tomball ISD, and this is not in practice in any of our regional school districts, this is not in practice in any of our competitive school districts. We also have a double accelerated path. So these students in grades 5, top 40% are auto-enrolled into 6th grade, again take 6th and 7th grade, same as the accelerated path. But parents choosing to double accelerate can test their student, can have their students, and these kids take the 6th grade test, but they can choose to have their students sit for a credit by exam Algebra 1 placement test. If that child scores 80% or above, then they can be placed in Algebra 1 in the 7th grade, and then in the 7th grade they take an Algebra 1 test. For us, that's 1 out of every 10 kids. And then that positions them very well for geometry in 8th grade, and the purpose of this is to provide more exposure to high school math while in junior high. So at the end of the course, or the end of the 4-year degree plan, our students are having more ability to access higher level math, which positions them for STEM admissions into universities and colleges, or into the workforce in the area of STEM. And again, no star for the geometry test in 8th grade. So the question is math acceleration working in our district? So right out of the chute, we have Tomball ISD is the #1 rated district among all comparative school districts in 6th grade math. In 7th grade math, you will see Tomball ISD only tests 49% of our kids in the 7th grade. The only students that take a 7th grade math test are on-level math, are kids that are on level in math, not our accelerated students. It's at this point, every single district in the state of Texas has to make a choice. Every single one has to make the same choice for their accelerated path. Do you skip 7th grade or do you skip 8th grade? Because to get to Algebra 1, you got to skip one or the other. So take a look at the districts that are performing better than us in Tomball ISD. The school districts that are performing better than us test 100% of their kids in 7th grade. We test 49%. So look at where the campuses, the districts are in 8th grade. So you say almost every district that's above us in 7th grade is below us in 8th grade. And then the determinant factor is acceleration working, was where do we rank in Algebra 1? And remember, Algebra 1 in our district is testing half of our kids are 13 and 14 years old. So Tomball ISD is at the top among all competitive districts for Algebra 1. The district that is in 2nd place tests 60% of their kids are 15 years old taking Algebra 1. So the answer to is the acceleration working is the strategy working in how we accelerate students? The answer is absolutely yes, it is. So then the question would be, okay, well, talk to me more about just the math 7th grade on-level students. About half of the school enrollment for 7th grade take the 7th grade test. So we improved. One of our biggest improvements in composite scores is in the area of 7th grade math. We outperformed the state average. The state average is including all kids above grade level and on grade level. Our 7th grade testers are only on level. We're exceeding the state percentage by 13 percentage points. Another way to look at this is say, hey, let's just put all the 7th grade testers in one category regardless of what they take. In our district, we have kids that take the 7th grade star in 7th grade. We have kids that take the 8th grade star in 7th grade. And we take kids that take the Algebra 1 test in 7th grade. They take 3 different tests. So if we just put them all together, where would we be? We continue to be A-rated in 7th grade. You can just no longer compare 7th grade in historical manner like we have before, because we are essentially ability testing in 7th grade, and that is done in no other content area, no other grade level. English 1 and English 2, we continue to outperform ourselves. We're at the highest point that we've been at English 1 based on the composite score, as well as English 2. We've had our highest master's performance in history in the area of English 2 and our lowest failure rate in English 1. This last point is a point I'm very proud of because it looks at how well our kids are writing. Over half of our kids in English 1 and English 2 are scoring a 7 or higher on our extended constructed response, and that's a scale score out of 1 to 10. Again, over half of our kids are at the highest level in their area of writing. Looking at reading language arts for grades 3 through 8, again, without exception, we are at a 93 or above at every single grade level. We are projected for an A. We are exceeding, again, you look at writing, 3rd through 8th grade is the highest among all of the regional school districts for extended constructive response. But this last trophy, 1 out of 4 8th graders score a perfect 10, and 2 out of 3 are scoring a 7 or higher. That's why we have the high results in English 1 and English 2. Science was a big adjustment for this year. The reason that we had a delay in the state reporting for science is because this is the first year for new science standards. It's just our second year for new science resources, grades 3 through 8 and biology 1. So in the first year of new science standards, we increased 7 points in our composite score, moving from a 62 to a 69. And Biology 1 continues to rank number 1 among our regional districts. And then we're at number 2 among all of our competitive districts. And biology is at the highest it ever has been in our district. Social studies at grade 8 continues to be a challenge. We're about where we were last year. We are testing 8th grade students in social studies in U.S. history. In 7th grade, we have our kids taking Texas history. That follows the Texas our course sequence, which has been changed by the State Board of Education, where in the future, 8th grade will be a capstone, in which there will be no new standards that students are exposed to, and it will be a comprehensive assessment of standards that kids have been taught in grades 3 through 7 in the areas of U.S. and Texas history. Texas history will not have a standalone grade level like it has for the last 10 or so years. Texas history will be embedded into every grade level, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th grade, as well as U.S. history. For the third year in a row, we continue to be the highest performing district in the area of U.S. history when compared to our regional districts as well as our competitive school districts. Are there any questions that I can answer about our school district's achievement for 25-26?
The new science resources, was that based after a TEACS update?
Yes, there was a proclamation in 23-24 where the state issued new resources, and following every proclamation, then there are new standards that are released. And this year was the first year that we accessed those new standards.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
I mean, come on. Look, this started a few years ago, an assessment of the curriculum and instruction, as well as the 2017. So you and your team have been on a methodical consistency, stability, a journey here. And this doesn't just happen. A lot of adult hard work here. Obviously, students are a big part of this, but congratulations. As Michael was going through that, the room was completely silent. I'm bursting with enthusiasm and excitement. And so congratulations, big deal. Please communicate this far and wide because this is a big, big deal. So thank you very much.
We will. Thank you. I want to comment, when the results come out, we expect to see not just A-rated, but straight A-rated. But we'll wait for that for the next few days.
So I just want to jump on what Michael said. I mean, when we look at the success of our students and the success of our district, there's many different facets that we want to look at. And standardized testing is certainly one of them. And it is one that the state looks at in connection with a whole bunch of things. But, you and your team, like you said, everyone sitting over here, all your administrators, campus administrators, and teachers, and up here, y'all are knocking it out of the park. And you continue to do that consistently. And that is what is important. We consistently look at it, strive to get better. Mark's doing his thing on those areas that need more work and then communicating that, and it's a team effort. And so I commend you and your team for this. It's one facet that we need to look at, but it's a very important facet. So thank you.
Thank you so much. I want to give a special shout out to the Office of School Leadership because they work intricately with every one of our campus leaders. Dr. Schindewolf, Dr. Flores, Dr. Munoz, Dr. Bailey, and Dr. Krista Romero-Mueller. Everyone, but having that personal touch, they are there for them no matter what, and campus leadership knows that. There is nothing like, if I go back to my days as a campus leader, knowing that good or bad, someone has your back. We'll hear you, we'll help you, we'll do whatever it takes so that ultimately our students are the beneficiaries of this great instruction that we can provide. So thank you, team. Great job. Okay, we wanted to end tonight's reports with a transportation update. You know, there's always some challenges with transportation at the beginning of a new year, but there's also opportunities. And with our new transportation director, our new assistant director, a new system, which we are now much more confident and comfortable with, there's some more newness that will be coming. Dr. Stephen Gutierrez, our Chief Operating Officer, will share in this very lively performance. I'm liking this.
Yes.
Not performance, presentation, so you're not performing.
I can perform.
This report, just so that you kind of get a feel for what we're looking forward to with transportation in the new year.
All right, President Lewandowski, Dr. Salazar-Zamora, members of the board, cabinet, and guests. It's my privilege to give you a transportation update. As Dr. Z mentioned, probably out of all the district departments and operating services, maybe the entire district, transportation services always feels like it's in the hot seat the first couple of weeks. And you'll see just by the sheer volume of students that we serve and provide services for, there's a reason for that. And so, again, the purpose for this presentation is to provide you, board and community who's watching, information that's critical for the start of the school year, and then ways to point individuals to get answers to questions that they may have. But what good is a service if people don't utilize it? And so in Tomball ISD, I'm proud to say that this is a service that our community does take advantage of. And I'm proud to say that we provide transportation services to any and all family and students that want to utilize transportation services. That is not the norm this day and age across the state and neighboring districts. There are restrictions and limitations on who's able to provide or to use transportation services. This little slide here, the table provides a little overview. Nearly 50% of our families take advantage of transportation services. Compare that to the state and national average. The data shows that our community values this service, and more importantly, they use this service daily. Our ridership, approximately our daily ridership last year was 11,000 students. That's an increase of 600 students. And so, again, as our district continues to grow, we are providing this great service to our families and to our community. We know this is important. Students need to be at school every single day to receive the high quality instruction that Dr. Webb just talked about that leads to amazing results for our students. All right, so let's talk a little bit about who is fueling that department. And really, just like in the classroom, our bus drivers, that's the heart of the department. We have 157 drivers. That's broken down 111 general education, 36 special education, and 10 standby drivers. Those 10 standby drivers can be in any route, any part of the district. They need to know the district like the back of their hand. And so these are like utility players who fill in routes every single day to ensure that we do meet those metrics for our transportation department. In addition to that, supporting the rhythm of our students, we have 36 special needs attendants. This allows our drivers to have their full attention on the road while also providing high quality service to our students in need. We have a small but mighty mechanical team. We have 6 individuals at our Baker Drive facility that primarily service all of our school buses, and 2 at the Innovation Center. All of our maintenance vehicles, all of our white fleet, and some bus repairs take place there. And so again, small but mighty team at 2 facilities providing all of the service for our vehicles in the district. All right, talking about the vehicles, let's talk about the number of buses. I want to give a big thank you to this board first and foremost for supporting all of our requests and considerations for approval for new buses. Thank you to all of our voters and our constituents who have approved bonds specifically for bus purchases. I'm proud to say that over the summer, the 40 buses that you all approved last year, roughly this time in October, all of those buses came in early. We were expecting them December. Just through the pushing of the team, utilizing those resources and connections, we were able to get those, and they'll be ready to hit the road for our new students. And so broken down, we have 138 general education buses, 43 special education buses, 6 micro buses that are used for a variety of purposes, and then 44 field trips. These are, consider these retired home to route buses that we use for a variety of extracurricular activities. So I am with the purchase, and if you recall a couple of months back when we talked about seat belts and the age of buses, with some of these new purchases, we're able to retire some of the older trip buses to ensure that our teams, like the baseball team or any of our fine arts groups, can have a little bit newer bus and not one that is well used. And so that'll allow us to be strategic with our fleet. All right, so we have 48% of our students utilizing transportation. How many miles did we drive last year? Okay, so our total home to school mileage was almost 2 million miles. You see that broken down, 1,377,027 miles for our general education miles, 610,147. Add on all of our programming with CTE and other academic mileage. That takes our 25-26 mileage grand total over 2 million. That's 2,020,745 miles. We are definitely ready to rock, and our wheels are rolling all across the city. And so here we go. That's just a little bit about that. And so in order to have a high-quality program providing great service, it's important that we have a full band, that we have a full team. And I want to give a shout-out to Matt Schwer, Danielle Fair, there's a director and assistant director for the team, but also acknowledge our new supervisors, Kenyon McDaniel, Krista Henderson, Joe Bernardi. Those individuals are crucial to the staffing. I cannot talk about this slide without also giving a big thank you to Dr. Z for being a courageous leader. When we said, hey, we're being outspent in investing in our drivers. We used to be at the top of the pay scale. Now we're in the middle and falling down behind. And when you have a leader that says, I'm not just going to be competitive, I'm going to go all the way to the top, and you have a supportive school board to say, in the middle of the budget, that we're going to support that. This allows for that to be a reality. Because we added at least 13 routes for the opening of Tomball West High School, for the expansion of services. In some neighborhoods, we're going to have 2 routes going, one to Memorial, one to Tomball High School, and one potentially also going to Tomball West. So not the most efficient, but we're going to provide that service for these 2 years while we have the overlap. But with that growth, we only have 2 openings currently as we sit right now. You see the asterisk, we actually have 2 drivers in training. And so, yes, I want to give a big applause to our team for that. Because the staffing challenge with transportation services is still alive and well. Our drivers do have options, not only in public transport, but everything from driving shuttles to the airport to individuals who are picking up your trash every single day throughout the city. And so they do have options, and I'm glad that they choose us just like we choose them. So again, we're proud of this work. What this allows us to do is to ensure that our supervisors can be supervisors in ensuring that the service that we provide is top-notch in quality. And most importantly, our students and our families do not have interruptions in service. Okay, so what's new in transportation? We as a community, I want everyone to hear that we heard you. Board, we recognize you do get several emails at the beginning of the school year saying, a variety of things. Maybe the buses are late, the buses are hot, I can't get a hold of anyone, typically is one of the biggest concerns. And going back to the staffing model, when we're not fully staffed, our supervisors, our dispatchers, they're on buses providing high quality service. What this is going to allow us to do, being fully staffed, nearly fully staffed, is to ensure that we have individuals in the office answering calls, talking to parents, resolving issues. I've been in the queue, and you get a busy signal. If you're lucky, that will no longer be the case. And so when you call transportation phone number, your phone call will be answered. We'll have a professional call service that will also provide a variety of options to allow parents to be directed to the individual who can best serve their needs. So say, for example, you left your trumpet on the bus and you want to get hold of someone, there will be a press 9 to such and such each person, all the way to a critical issue. God forbid, I don't know where my child is on the bus. Those are going to be handled instantly and immediately. This is going to allow us to route our calls in a way that is going to provide the highest level of service depending on the nature of the situation. And so people will have their phone calls answered. They will have their issues resolved. Another thing that will be very helpful to you, to us, and to everyone, just like when you call AT&T or somewhere else, they say these calls may be monitored or recorded for quality assurance. We will have that ability as well. And so, one, this allows our team to provide training, support, coaching, possibly to a dispatcher or supervisor who may not handle a parent who is upset in the best manner. This will allow us, one, did that actually happen? Was my supervisor rude, or is this person potentially taking this out of context, right? So one, it allows us to fact check and provide that coaching. So this allows us to gauge the level of our effectiveness of customer service. It allows us also to see how many times a parent have called the dispatch office. I've called 10 times, and you may have heard that I called 10 times and no one answers my phone. I could actually look up into the log and say, I'm so sorry that you experienced that. Our records indicate you've only called one time, right? And so let's ensure that we can provide the right service for you. And we'll make sure we handle all calls with love and care, but this provides us and you all as a board a level of accountability on that service. This also allows us to see what types of concerns we're able to have, and then our big piece is response time. We do expect to get a timely response. Again, depending on the nature of your issue, it's going to be an immediate response or within 24 to 48 hours. We'll have some opportunity at the end for some questions if you have any questions about the on-flow system, but I do believe this is going to be a game changer in terms of customer service in the transportation department. Bearcom radio and dispatch system. I want to give again a shout out to the board for supporting the requests that come from administration or from the team, because this is dual coded with school safety, securing radios and radio communication across all of our districts, but also integrating that communication system across transportation. So we already have tested this system as far out Magnolia, Montgomery, all the way through Klein, down south of the district, far past our borders where potentially we may be traveling. We get great signal and great connectivity, and that's like on a regular truck. Imagine when you put it on the top of a bus, the antenna, you're going to intensify that signal and get even more consistent service and clarity. What that allows us to do is to ensure, hey, we're able to communicate with that bus at all times. With the dispatch console system, we could also isolate communication to do a hub. We only want to talk to buses that are servicing West Intermediate, for example. One specific bus, we can tap into that bus without the crowded radio communication that all of the rest of the buses are. We'll also have this kind of capability with campuses, and so I just want to, again, thank you for your support, and again for voters, because this was also part of Bond 2025. Okay, some reminders. So not too much new this year, but some reminders. Stop Finder, recognizing last year Stop Finder wasn't a positive experience for some, and I do chalk some of that up to change management and also our responsibility to ensure that we communicate and coach and teach people through new services. And so we did find more ease of use and reduced issues throughout as we progressed throughout the year with Stop Finder. If parents were a user last year and your students are still in the district and you indicated that you are going to be using transportation services, there's nothing for you to do this year. All of that should roll over, and your routes this Friday will be released to the community where your specific routes drop off, pickup times, and so all of that will be communicated on Friday through the app. Any new families, and I believe there were over 1,000 or so initial invites or new invites. for families new to the district, new to transportation services, to enroll, to register, to be ready for the first day of school. And we've already helped individuals with questions regarding existing or new students. And so I do want to again point individuals to our department number that's listed below for any issues related to Stop Finder. We'll make sure that we get everyone ready to go for the first day of school, and it's our commitment. If individuals want transportation services to or from, we're going to make sure that they get to school and home. All right, this is always a big one, so I just want to make sure this is clear right here for everyone on its own slide, that all Tomball ISD buses, route buses, are equipped with air conditioning. Little caveat there. I know our cars, our trucks, or even our homes, right? We can keep them very cool. It's smaller. You're trying to reduce when you're opening the doors and all of that. School buses are only going to cool that bus 15 to 20 degrees below what the ambient temperature is in that bus. So let's just keep it simple. If it's 100 degrees inside that bus without air conditioning, the best we're going to do is 80 to 85 degrees. I don't know about you, that is still pretty hot, right? But it is better than 100 degrees. And that is with air conditioning, and that is standard industry response there, or performance for buses. So with that, all of our mechanical team, our mechanics have been doing preventative maintenance. I actually got a positive feedback from one of our school buses heading to convocation that it was actually very cold on the bus. But I recognize 8 a.m. or 7:30 a.m., 7:15 for some of you, that is probably a different experience than, say, 3:30 with 60 secondary students or elementary kids. And so, just as a reminder to individuals and to the board, all of our buses do have air conditioning. We have done our best to ensure that they are all functioning properly, but you can imagine even our testing it periodically throughout the summer when they're running daily, morning and afternoon, 100 degrees plus. Things do happen, but we do have a team that is committed to ensuring that those buses come right back online as soon as possible. All right, so with that, I'll open this up for questions, and I do invite Matt and Danielle to come up if there are any transportation-specific questions that I cannot answer for you.
Stephen, real quick, with respect to the 39 new buses, so you show them on your circle there as the additional. So how do they integrate into your routes? How are you going to integrate those into your routes?
So a couple of things. One, with the addition of new routes for Tomball West, those buses were critical to ensure that we had sufficient buses to accommodate new routes. Some of those were specifically also used potentially for replacement buses, as we presented a couple of months ago. Some of those that are upwards of 15, 20 years of service, which is well beyond what industry standard probably would suggest. We do a great job maintaining them, all safe. So some of these will replace, but we won't do that immediately. We'll kind of see how the school year starts. These buses also allow for when something does happen, say the AC goes down or a part is needed, we have another bus that's ready to go that has air conditioning, that is ready to help that other one back up online. So this provides a little bit of buffer to ensure, again, continuity of service and to ensure that the service that we commit to, we can achieve and execute.
So you wouldn't expect that all 39 go into a route day one?
We do.
Oh, you do? Okay,
We do.
I thought you said you were keeping them.
No, these will go on the route as soon as they're able. There are some minor things that we need to do once they come back, but we're already in the process: radios, decals, tags, all of those kind of things. But the intent is all of these buses, first day of school, are on the road, and any of the others that were older that we've already identified, those would be kept behind as sub buses.
Yeah, I'd like to jump in. Congratulations on, I'm going to call it 0 vacancies.
I agree. Thank you.
That's a big, the reputation of the transportation department is, for the last couple of years been challenged because of the vacancies. And so, again, congratulations on filling that.
Thank you.
Stop Finder.
Yes, sir.
I don't know who Doug is, associated with Tomball Memorial High School. But Doug does a couple videos that I've seen. One was about meta glasses, another was about painting parking spot. Who's Doug? Who is Doug? Is he a parent? Is he an employee? He's a parent. He's a parent?
Doug is a parent, apparently.
Okay, he's a parent. If there were a Doug-like person that could do some videos on Stop Finder and help publishing them, not putting the spotlight on Doug, I've never met him, don't know him, but we got to do a little bit more, in my humble opinion, to show parents how to use Stop Finder. The geofencing capability seemed to be a real snag last year. I think I don't know how you broke down the calls last year, but certainly, the app is not working. I couldn't get this to work. And how to understand the functionality of Stop Finder versus kind of the regular IT kind of issues. And I noticed you put this number. I don't know if that's the same number that will be using this new system.
Yes.
But do we have people that are answering the phone that are Stop Finder fluent?
Yes.
Okay.
You brought up some great points, so thank you for bringing that up. With the Stop Finder app, there is a great deal of parent customization as far as how they prefer notifications, geofencing, and so you can also turn off notifications completely. And so we do recognize that there was an element of needing to educate the community on the new product, a little bit of the change management strategy. So we do have a variety of resources, videos, frequently asked questions on the website. But I will take a look at Doug and see if there's something special about how we can make it simple for families to
really well
consume.
As a parent, and the get it factor is pretty good. So those same videos were available last year, and I don't think the success was as great as we all wanted. And so I encourage, take a look, objective look at how to do that. And especially the folks answering the phone. I really think that's important. If folks who are answering the phone are not fluent in it, my ask would be download the app, get fluent with it, try to make sure. Tomball West, new routes. You said 13 new routes.
Approximately. We added at least 13 new drivers this year from last year, so a bulk of that is attributed to Tomball West routes and growth in general.
If you don't have this answer tonight, great. I'd love to understand what it is and next time we gather. What is our goal for the length of time a student is on the bus? From the time that they get on the bus in the morning to when they arrive at their campus, and then same on the way back, from the time they leave the campus to they're dropped at their bus stop location. If you don't have that answer tonight, great, but I'd love to make sure I understand what our routes look like.
It's a great question. It's kind of a nuanced answer, and so I could provide some specifics. Yeah, and certainly it just really depends where are you in the city. If you're further in the south where it is very compacted and close, your drive time is probably going to be 20 minutes, less 30 minutes. If you're out in Decker Prairie, some of our rural routes, or you're in a program that is a little bit further, we have multiple stops, you could be upwards of 50 minutes. So really, it depends. Our goal is to be the fastest as possible, safe as possible to get students home. By and large, most are getting home before 30 minutes, and some even 15, 20 minutes, depending on where you live.
If you could paint that picture for us, that would be great. And if it's not something that you have, this week, certainly, let's take a snapshot in a month. I'd love
Sure.
to kind of understand why. Last question. Do we have high school students riding the bus with elementary students?
No, sir. Elementary, they have their own tier, their own ridership, same as intermediate, and junior high and high school are the only ones that cross levels that are on the bus together.
Okay. There's a perception, and we need to continue to communicate and work on messaging. We do not commingle high school students and elementary students on buses in Tomball ISD.
That's probably been now about at least 3 to 4 years, but we can certainly make sure that that message is being reinforced out there.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
On the note of the time on the bus after school, I was going to mention, we can't really help if a route is more rural or if the distance is further. What we can, and I think we should look at, is the time it takes for the buses to load the kids and pull away from the school. Is that something that we're keeping metrics on so that we can identify perhaps if there's a certain campus that's struggling there, that they could be coached on ways to get those kids on the buses and pulled away after school?
Short answer is yes, and I will tell you, the campuses already do a phenomenal job as being as quick as possible, so thank you, campus administration. I will tell you, they want them on the bus as soon as possible as well, because they have other things to do also. So, but that is something that we do monitor. When our supervisors are not driving, they will also have this capability to go out and monitor what's happening, ride with a driver, observe what's happening at the campus, see load unload times. But certainly that is a metric that we do measure. And again, kudos to the administration that does a great job with that already.
Hey, Steve, one more question on the on-flow system. When you're talking to Michael, maybe we think of another question. Did I understand you correctly to say that this is a third-party like answering service that will then, whether it's electronic or otherwise, that will then direct the call to the appropriate individual? So the first connection is with either a third-party electronic system or a third-party real person before it gets routed to someone in district?
No, that was probably just me explaining it. This is all internal. Now the system will register those calls, and we will have an individual that is monitoring real time, multiple individuals monitoring the types of calls that are coming in and ensuring that there are sufficient people to answer the calls. But this is all internal. It's just software that we are purchasing. It all comes filtered through the district. You're going to talk to a district person immediately. If, let's just say, all individuals that have been trained are on a call, you do have the ability to leave a message. You will get a text notification to say you have submitted a ticket. Also with this capability, let's say you had a question about your route time. We also have the option to send that to you on email, on text if you prefer. So this is something different that we have never had before. And I'll tell you, the text option I know is going to be a huge thing for our parents.
Okay, thank you so much. Appreciate that
Thank you.
report. Okay, that concludes our reports for this evening. Now, at this time, I'd like to move and have a review and conversation about the business agenda for tomorrow evening, August the 11th. Okay, let me proceed with that. We will start with our consent agenda items. The first few are something that you are very familiar with, A through E. F is, it's not new, but you're not as familiar with it. Perhaps that's to approve House Bill 3372 outside employment contract, and that is if we have an administrator, because of the change in law, that would like to, in this case, teach at Lone Star College. And so we would like to ask that that individual be able to do that if he chooses in this case. We have some donations. One for $17,470.50 from Canyon Gate Homeowner Association to Canyon Point Elementary. Another for $47,500 from Willow Creek Elementary PTO to Willow Creek Elementary School. We have an annual donation, and we are so grateful for John Ogren to continue supporting Great Expectations. John has been doing that for a number of years. A donation for $6,124 from Creekview Elementary PTO to Creekview Elementary School. That will conclude the most of the consent agenda items. We have a few considered agenda items. So I'd like to first discuss with you who you will designate as your delegate and alternate for the TASB 2026 Delegate Assembly. Of course, you'll decide who you'd like for that. Any conversation?
Yes, after some discussion, I'd like to thank Amanda Bass for stepping up and becoming our delegate. And
Alternate?
Coco White.
Okay. Thank you to both of our board members. We appreciate that.
It's much appreciated. And it's a good thing, and thank you for doing it.
Item B is to consider the approval of a nominee for TASB Region 4 Position B on the TASB Board of Directors. You have had this information, and of course, if you so choose.
Yeah, Mark, you probably have a lot of interaction with these individuals, be it with your Gulf Coast connections, but they both seem to be good candidates, but do you have any insight?
I think they're both qualified. I think that they're a little bit different in their qualifications. I think that the star candidate that has more leadership, more experience with TASB, the school district, and working with other districts, I think would probably be Ann Williams.
She's from A-Leaf, right? Is Ann A-Leaf? I think she's A-Leaf.
She's with Yes.
She is.
Is this a 2-year appointment or position? I don't remember voting on this last year.
I think we had someone resign last year, 2 years ago. We did there was an appointment or something. There was an interview process. Was that 2 years ago?
Yeah, and there are several positions within Region 4, and this is one of those positions. So they kind of rotate. They're not all at the same
From my understanding, like larger districts, like Cy-Fair gets a spot because they're so large, right? And so I'm thinking the smaller districts then decide on one person from within them to represent Region 4. Am I understanding that correctly? Not nominated.
Nominated.
Are these two that we received letters from the only two that applied? Or are there others that applied but just didn't send us a letter?
They were the only two that submitted a letter to us. I'm not certain they're the only two, but I believe they are.
Yeah, they probably are the only two that applied. They may have a screening process, but at this time, I believe those were the two that I'm aware of that applied.
Is it normal and typical to only have two interested? Okay.
Every year is different. Items D and E are to approve entry. They are both sister items, and they're to enter into a joint election agreement with Montgomery County and Harris County for the November 3rd, 2026 Board of Trustee election. Item F, as you heard earlier, there was...
Going back real quick, I didn't notice in the Montgomery County, I saw Harris County doesn't have their format yet, so that we'll get to that, right? But Montgomery County, they had a form, but I didn't see pricing in there. Is the pricing in there yet? I'm just curious.
I don't think so.
Is it after the fact, Zach, and they allocate back to the entities that are part of the election?
That's exactly right.
Ron?
You're exactly right.
Okay. And so, but roughly, in the past, we have said each election is somewhere around 40 grand. Is that still the case?
No.
Do you want to try the one next to you?
Yeah. Okay, this one. No, Harris County is significantly more than it has been in the past of what you've seen. All total, between the two, it's well over $100,000 in cost for holding a trustee election.
Okay, great. Thank you.
They are pretty expensive. Okay, item F, to approve the Tomball ISD Student Code of Conduct. Thank you again to Karen Graves for working through that, and you will have an opportunity to vote on that tomorrow evening as well. Items G and H are also complimentary. They are the same, to approve 2627 MOU between Tomball ISD and Harris County Juvenile Justice Alternative Education Program, or JJAEP, and H is Montgomery County JJAEP, and that is something, of course, that we ask of you annually at this time of the year. Also, something we ask of you at this time is to adopt a resolution identifying hazardous routes that exist within 2 miles of district campuses. You are also...
Is that for funding purposes, right? Am I understanding that correctly?
Well, we have to identify that. I don't know if that's directly connected to the funding. It is, okay.
So typically, we only get funding for busing outside of 2 miles.
Oh, as far as the 2 miles, yes, correct.
And so I guess we get
You're one of the districts that does that.
So we get some smaller bit of funding if it's a hazardous route within the 2 miles? Is that?
We are able to extend that services to make a student potentially eligible that there is a hazardous route. So there are some students that technically would fall under that 2-mile ineligibility category, but if it's an exempt, if it's a hazardous route that we've identified that this board authorizes, then we're able to secure some funding for that. State funding, like state reimbursement.
All right, moving on to J, again, asking that you approve the T-Test or Texas Teacher Evaluation and Support System Appraisal List for 26-27. Item K is to approve a contract in the amount of $240,044.40 with Bays Achievement Center. That is for 2 student day placements, and we would utilize IDEA special education funding. Item L is to approve a contract in the amount of $344,489.40, also with Bays Achievement Center for residential placement using IDEA special education funding.
Dr. Z, on item L, how many students does that support?
Item L is 1 child, but it is residential. That child resides in that setting, which is the most restrictive environment we have in special education, per the IEP. Item M is to approve an interlocal contract with Harris County Department of Education for part-time contracted services for physical therapy, occupational therapy, and music therapy. And just so that you understand, we of course have staff members. This would be for any additional needs that we may need to ensure that we meet the IEP goals and objectives set forth for all of our SPED students.
But you don't anticipate day 1 needing any of these services?
I have not looked at the numbers. Dr. Webb, do you think we will on day 1? I know we need them. Okay, so we do. Especially, there are some therapists that at different times it's a little more challenging to because they have options, right? They could work in a hospital, they could work in a clinical setting, and so sometimes it's a little bit harder. Thank you for that. Item N is to approve an interlocal agreement with Academic and Behavior Schools West, which is called ABS West, through Harris County Department of Education. Item O, you received quite a bit of backup on this, and this is asking for you to consider and approve resolution authorizing the Constable of Precinct 4 to conduct a public resale of the tax account number listed, lot listed, block listed, for Tomball in the amount of $8,000.
So Martha, help me out with that. So it's been a while since we've seen this kind of
correct
action. So based on the backup, we had someone that was interested and they pulled out before the sale was over with. Okay, so in this case, we're just trying to push it to an auction and get a minimum bid of $8,000, hoping that someone's going to show.
To get it back on the tax roll, we can try that.
Yeah, we're just trying to get it back on the tax rolls at this point. If you saw the aerial photo of where the property is, you'll notice it's not anything that the district could utilize at any point in time. And so it really does us no good to hold. And so what we just want to do there is get it back on the tax roll, or sold back on the tax roll, generate some property tax income.
But we have other property that we aren't putting to this resale. And sometimes we wait for people to come to us and say, hey, we want to buy it, right? So I guess I'm just trying to differentiate or distinguish why this one we're pushing out, trying to get someone to buy it versus just the regular advertisements like on the tax or our tax attorney's website.
On this one, really, the discussion with the tax attorneys is the size of the property. It just doesn't make it realistic for us to hold on to this one, thinking that we're going to generate a significant amount of interest.
It's a bit too small.
Interest later on.
Okay.
So that was the advice of the tax attorneys that we got.
And so going this route, there tends to be more activity at a lower price, but it's a smaller lot as well. So there just we have a better likelihood of getting it back on the tax rolls going this route rather than the marketing on the website.
Yes.
Okay.
Good questions, thank you. Item P, if you recall, Harris County Department of Education has a different cycle than we do. Their budget cycle differs, and this is to ratify the superintendent's prior approval of First Amendment to Agreement for Law Enforcement Services between Harris County and Tomball ISD. I did recognize these individuals, and we hope to have, and will have 33 officers if this is approved tomorrow evening.
Hey, Dr. Z.
Yes, sir.
As we think about Mark Herman's footprint in his precinct 4, need a memory jog. Is Tomball West in Mark Herman's precinct 4? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Got it.
Yeah.
Thanks.
We continue to have a very healthy relationship, and we're grateful for that.
The nuance we'll continue to have is in Montgomery County, where a campus or two will be in Montgomery County, but our relationship with Constable Herman supports those constables being in Montgomery County in support of those campuses.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
The next item, the verbiage is very lengthy, but it must be written in this way, and this is basically an agreement for the purchase of attendance credit, netting Chapter 48 funding. There's a lot of specificity, but I just wanted you to understand this is, of course, something that we do put on the agenda once a year, and it has to be worded just like that. Okay? The next one actually is something that I think is very good for us as a district. It's to approve a 2.673 acre access and utility easement to Harris County MUD 572 for roadway and utility facilities associated with development of 35 acres at the corner of 99 and Cypress Rose Hill. So what does this mean for us, and why do I think it's good? It's expensive to build roads. We know that because we have built many. Some that we didn't even want to have to pay for, but did. In this case, with this, we would have an opportunity to have the road that takes you out to the wastewater treatment plant paid for through this agreement. I know you had the backup information. If you have any specific questions, Zach is ready for them.
So today it's a gravel road.
Yes.
What this allows us is a nice
paved road.
concrete curbs.
Yes. It's pretty straight. I mean, it just at the end it kind of curves. Yeah. Right now it's fine, but if it's wet, if it's rainy, it's not fine. I mean, I know several of you have been out there, and I have too on a not so good day, and it's not so good.
Okay. Got it.
It's a mess.
And so, who's paying for those roads?
So that's going to be MUD 572.
Okay, MUD 572.
So where did we see that, though? I didn't see that in the agreement. They were paying for it, or that they were going to put in a certain specification of road. It wasn't in the right of way, was it? Did I miss it?
He's looking at the language.
And if it's an item that we need to follow up after the meeting, no problem.
If you'll let me go through the backup, I can give you an answer.
Okay.
A definitive answer on that, but I believe it's defined in there as roadway facilities. But let me go back to it.
We can have that for you.
And clearly it says it's for a roadway, but I didn't see anything that said that they were going to build a particular type of road to any particular specification. So I think that was my kind of add-on to Michael's.
We will get that for you for tomorrow. Item S is to approve the recommendation to award RFP as listed to CF1 Mechanical for the replacement of HVAC equipment at Lakewood Elementary School and Willow Creek Elementary School with a construction cost of $1,666,105, including a contingency budget of $70,000 using bonds 2025 funds.
So Martha, with this one, I have a similar question that we had like a year ago or 2 years ago, right? So we see that there's some training equipment that's in there and some Pentair equipment in there. But with respect to the training equipment, it seems like at the high school, we had a warranty of a certain period of time. And in order to get that warranty, we also had to have a maintenance agreement in place. So can you help me? Is this tracking what we did at the high school or one of the other schools with respect to the warranty, and then that also includes the maintenance agreement?
So this is not going to include the maintenance agreement. What you're referring to with the high school, when we went back and did that, what we were able to do is the R renewals with the training equipment. That the warranty that came along with our renewal, so the refurbishment of the existing equipment, was predicated upon having that maintenance agreement too, as well. What selecting the train gives us is that opportunity in 15, 20 years when the unit reaches its end of useful life, that we can come back in then and do the renewal process on that equipment.
So this is brand new replacement.
Brand new
We don't really have an option to do a rebuild on this equipment, and then in the future, maybe we can use the renewal or whatever it's called.
Yes.
Going forward, the rebuild.
That's correct.
But this is brand new replacement.
Brand new replacement.
We don't have a rebuild option here.
Building on that, what is the warranty?
I'm gonna look to,
If we don't have it tonight, get that information.
5 years, okay, thank you.
Isn't the renewal 7 years, or our renewal is a
Our
7
renewal, we
year?
had 7, yes.
Okay, but brand new. So brand new is 5 year.
Thank you, gentlemen. The next item T is to approve the use.
Real quick, Martha, just to help me on that. That's okay. What do we feel like replacement cycle is on the chillers? What are we thinking we put into the chillers? After 10 years, it's a rebuild? What's kind of our structure there?
Yeah.
17 to 20. So we think we go naked from a warranty standpoint for at least 12 years.
Okay, the next item, item T, is to approve the use of a competitive seal proposal as the construction delivery method for the attached bond 2025 projects. And I know that several items, or several were listed there in the backup.
I wanted to ask about this one just to make sure I understand. I read the memo, which was very good. Mainly that this selection process includes best overall value, which is things other than just price. I understand that. What is the meaning or the implication of the word sealed?
Oh, sealed competitive?
So that just means that everything comes in at the same time. It's opened at one time. So you aren't able, as a sealed proposal, you aren't able to open and evaluate responses as they're delivered. There's a set time frame in which you accept the bids and then you open the bids and evaluate.
Just provide a little more color there. So there's a conference room, there's a deadline for proposals to be submitted into this place, and then a body of different folks within the district. Can you kind of build from there? What do you do in the room at that time?
So once the bids come in and we set a date and time, those bids are opened. They're then at that point in time taken by the team, the evaluation team, whoever that may be that's been designated. We go back to the room and from that point evaluate all of the responses. So we'll spend anywhere from, depending upon the intricacy of the bid, could take a couple of hours to go through. If it's something significant where we get 12 to 15 responses, it might take us a couple of days to do the evaluation. But at that point, we're going through everything from the pricing to all of the team members' experiences, the overall experience of the company. We're checking references and going through all of that due diligence work.
Then on the selection criteria, you have one item, the last item, prior positive experience with owner is highlighted in yellow. Does that mean that's new and different from previous bond projects?
No, it doesn't. I think it was just highlighted.
Okay.
Are we on you? Are we on you?
For the next item?
Yeah, that's what Jennifer was talking about, you, because I had some questions there too, but okay.
Oh, item U, okay.
I was wondering what the 5 points was taken away from in the other items, but it's just, so this is the same criteria from prior, you mentioned the prior to bond, this is a similar process, and there's no change on the selection criteria.
So, are we good?
Let's go on to use. I think we moved on to that, and that is to approve the evaluation criteria for use with the request for competitive sealed proposals for the attached. Continue.
All right, so to answer that question, the 5 points for the prior positive experience by the owner, that is something we have used historically. We have adjusted this slightly to add a bit more weight to the base proposal, the pricing. We went from 30 to 35 points there. Where we really made a change in the evaluation criteria is on number 2. That had a heavier weight in the past, and this is a survey that's been completed by the company's references. Well, if you're the company, then you're sort of handpicking the references you want to respond on each bid. And so what we felt like is that we needed to place more weight on other areas of the evaluation criteria, rather than maybe we're getting the most positive responses from every reference that you can get, and maybe looking elsewhere for validation on the quality and experience of the vendors.
So I noticed everything you just said, Zach. I get what you're saying. I did have a question about the references, so I get it now that these are self-supplied. I did like the idea that you went up on the individual experience piece from 10 to 20. The one question I had was, why would you remove the equipment component? I think that was at 5% in the past, and then, or 5 points. And then why would we remove the financial stability item as well, which I think was at either 5 or 10 points?
So
I'm looking back on actually the chiller.
Previous.
Yeah, the chiller gave me the guide.
So on financial stability, that one was pulled out because we're evaluating that no matter what. We're looking at the backup for that vendor, but it's not necessarily something that we've seen over time be a significant factor.
So it's like a yes/no?
It's not a yes/no, but it's an evaluation of their financial statements.
Right.
But as we've worked through previous bond projects, that's just not an area that has been significantly different from vendor to vendor, and where we're getting high quality bidders, and we're not getting somebody that's coming in and just trying to low bid. That's a fly-by-night vendor. That's just not what we're seeing in responses. So we felt comfortable pulling that out.
So where would that be though in your criteria otherwise? I mean, this is for your evaluation of the bid itself, but do you capture that then somewhere else, like, you know,
Approved bidders
deal with high quality bidders? Or
Isn't it?
Someplace that it's at least documented that we still expect financial stability out of the vendor.
Isn't it in the approved vendor list that we approved a few months back?
So as far as all of those that are, the only place where this is going to come up is from here forward is basically with contractors who are being awarded projects. So all of your architects, your professional services type vendors, they've already been vetted through the process that included the financial stability. Where it's really captured now is within the bid process itself. So the bid may still have the component where they're submitting their financial statements. We're just not giving it a score within the evaluation.
Okay, so they're still providing the financials, but you're just not scoring it on the sheet. Okay. And then with respect to the equipment component, I think that it was like equipment suggested or recommended. I guess that's kind of like a brand thing.
Let me get back to you on that one. I'm looking at a previous bid here. That may have been specific to that one. Okay. But I'm looking back on historical ones, and I don't see one labeled for equipment.
Because I was looking at the chiller.
Okay, we'll provide that for you as well for tomorrow evening.
Sorry, one more question. I know you can't see my light from down,
no,
from down here.
Sorry.
Is there any item on this list that would capture, and I brought this up before, consideration for companies that are local or more local or Texas companies? Is there anywhere here that this would be looked at?
So I think where you see that is you're looking at the company itself. So when we're looking at the history of the company's performance, we're looking at where are they working, are they located in Texas? From a standpoint of us as a school district, especially when you're talking about construction projects, we want to know that we're working with contractors that are familiar with this area, they're familiar with working with the city, with the county. Same when it comes to architects, professional services. We want to make sure that who we're evaluating and who we're considering is working in this area and familiar here. So, the overall company who they're owned by might be located outside of Texas, but for us, our losing my words, our preference is going to more or less fall to those that are here, they do the work here, they're familiar with this area. And so really when you work through number 2, 3, 4, and 5, we're looking for that local experience.
So Zach, if a company is Chinese owned, Russian owned, Iranian owned, how do we handle that?
Well, the good thing is that there is some Texas procurement laws out there that prohibit you from doing business with certain companies that are either located in certain areas or support organizations. And so there's a lot of procurement law written around that.
Thanks.
I mean, sitting here looking at Chamber of Commerce sitting here, I would want to put in here an extra point, out of 100 if it's a Tomball company, or maybe half a point if it's a Greater Houston area company, to support the people that are our family, our community. And I just wanted to know if that was going to be reflected in the points here anywhere. And it sounds like the answer might be no.
I wouldn't say it's no, it's just not called out specifically within the scoring.
Any additional questions on this item? Okay, seeing no lights on, I'm going to move on to the final item for the evening, and that is to approve, for tomorrow evening, to approve the superintendent's salary and benefits for 26-27 and the extension of the superintendent's contract. That concludes the items, the consent and the considered agenda items. Before I turn the meeting over to you, President Lewandowski, I would be remiss if I did not say something. Over, 13, 14 years ago, I came into, you know who I'm talking about, I'm looking straight at you. I came into an interview into a district that I knew nobody, into a building that I don't know how I got lost finding it, but I did. If you've driven with me, you wouldn't be so shocked. And I remember from the minute I walked in with 3 gentlemen sitting in front of me, there was one in particular that just smiled the entire time. Before I even said anything, I felt welcomed. I was a little frazzled. I like to be very early, and I think I got here right on time because I was a little lost. And the experience from start to finish was what brought me to Tomball. And the love that has continued is what has kept me in Tomball. That gentleman is Mr. Jim Ross. This is your last board meeting with us, and I have to thank you for all that you've done for our destination district. I will turn the meeting back over to you, President.
Thank you, Superintendent Zamora. At this time, well, first of all, I'd just like to say, if this is your last board meeting, Jim, we're going to miss you. And you and I came on almost the same time, so we've kind of been going the same route. So
But you're not leaving.
That's not my choice. Anyway, Jim, congratulations on being able to move forward and to do other things. So enjoy it and be safe. At this time, the board is going to move into closed session. The Board of Trustees will now convene in closed meeting for the purposes authorized by the Texas Open Meetings Act, including but not limited to the following sections and purposes: Texas Government Code 551071, consultation with board attorney regarding our matters in accordance authorized by law. Texas Government Code 551.072, deliberation regarding purchase, exchange, lease, or value of real property. Texas Government Code 551.074, deliberation regarding appointment, employment, evaluation, reassignment, duties, discipline, or dismissal of a public officer or employee. Texas Government Code 551.076, deliberation regarding security personnel or devices. At this time, let me make sure that no voting will take place in the closed meeting. Any action the board wishes to take as a result of discussions in a closed meeting will take place after the board reconvenes in the open session. It is now 7:32, and we will adjourn for the closed meeting.